Welcome back to the SAS learning sessions. My name is Naga Vemprala. Today we are going to cover one more procedure in base SAS, that is PROC transpose. Basically what this transpose does, the meaning of transpose is to uh, convert the rows into columns and columns into rows. So whenever we have a data, let us start with the syntax first. So proc transpose, as every other proc, it is in between proc transpose and a run statement or a quit statement. And we have a few other things like what exactly we are working on, that is passed in data is equal to the data set name we will be giving. It works on a particular data set which we will be transposing to appropriately either to columns or to rows. And delimiter, if you are passing a delimiter, and label, these are all generic things on the transpose statement itself. And out is output dataset that we are creating, and prefix and suffix is, we will see it later, but this corresponds to the column names that we are adding. And how we are going to transpose, we will be giving it for this sort option by a particular variable we are sorting. And once we are done with this proc transpose statement, within the transpose we have a few other statements: copy, id label, and variable. So copy is it doesn't apply transpose feature to the columns whatever we give under copy. And id is the variable. Instead of giving the names by default using column 1, column 2, something like that, we will give id statement so that the variable names itself goes as the column names. And id label is, we can associate id label from a different column, and we can associate the column name from a different column. We will see all these features with a few examples. So for the transpose procedure, I have taken one small data set. It has 4 columns. It's a student's data set. It has a name column and the class currently the student is in, and the skills that he possesses, and out of 1 to 10, what is his expertise level, 1 being low and 10 being the best skill set. So we have a few students here: Robert, Smith, Taylor, Patrick, Lisa, Linda, and Medina. Around 7 students. So we have more than one column for a few students. Here if you see, Robert has skills in art, music, and dance at some level, and he is in pre-K class. What I want is, I wanted to see Robert and the skills that he possesses on the as a columns. So if art is one column, skill set for Robert is 8. Music second column, skill set is 4. Dance third column, skill set is 9. That's the way I want to transpose, so that I will be reducing these many rows into fewer rows. So that is what transpose does. If we have more columns, the same syntax, same features, whatever we are discussing will work, but we have to cautionly use. We have to use class statement. First, let us start with, without giving any options, how does it work. So for this, create this dataset, students dataset. So the dataset is created, and these are the expertise level. In total, we have 12 rows. Now, if I don't mention anything and just I run the transpose, what transpose will do is, it will apply default transpose to the numeric columns. Here we have only one numeric column which is expertise. So the transpose will be applicable to expertise column. So let us run this. As there is no other feature, we just got one row and so many columns are created. These are the default names we are applying, column 1, column 2, like that, and all the expertise values whatever we have mentioned, that went into 12 columns. So 12 columns plus the column name expertise that came here. If you see, by default the column name is given as underscore name underscore. So that holds the value of what is the column on which the transpose is applied. So we have only one numeric column here, so expertise. On that the column values are applied, and I mean the transpose is applied, and we got the output like this. Now uh, I wanted to do one more thing, uh, which is to add uh, skill set and name. So instead of applying the transpose to the numeric columns, I want to add one more level, which is for the name, each and every name, because really I want to see how many skills each person has and what is his skill set level. So I want to apply it for the name, and I want to add a column name as the skill whatever the student possesses. So for that I have to do the sorting first on the data. So I will apply it by name and then by the skill set if it is required. So here for now I am applying by name. So I am sorting the data set by name and class. So the data set is sorted. If you are not applying it by class, actually class is not required to be sorted. If I leave class by giving a copy statement, we will see how the output is coming. So now I am creating another data set, master by name. Here if you see, I am dropping the column which is underscore name underscore, using this wildcard character, which is a column. If you give like that, anything that starts with underscore will be dropped. The id statement I have used. So what this id statement will do is, instead of giving the default column names as col1 col2 like that, it will apply the skills values from the column, which is art music dance, to the column names. And I am applying transpose on expertise column, and I am sorting the output dataset by name and class. So each person unique name and class combination that goes into one row. So let us run this code, and we got the master by name created. So we have Robert and pre-K, that is the combination, as one row, Linda and pre-K, that is one row, and appropriately we got his skill set, and we got the column names as art music appropriately from skills column. If you look into the column names, art music dance singing and gymnastics, these are the 5 columns that were created, and the expertise level are added. Here Robert is not skilled in singing and gymnastics, so we have nulls here. We don't have any entry for singing and gymnastics for Robert. We have only for art music and dance. So that's the way we got the data set. We have just 7 students. We should get 7 records. So we got 7 records. Now what happens if we use a class statement? Okay, let us run this piece of code. class is ignored from transpose. So there is we have class value populated for all the records. So all the records came, but the transpose is applied to only first combination, first unique combination, and rest three records are left nulls. We can, if we want to do like this, we can do another data step and remove these particular records whichever we are not really interested in. That is another additional step we need to do if the requirement says we should keep all the records, but still wanted to use the feature of transposing the data and retrieving multiple columns into multiple rows into fewer rows. Okay, transposing the rows into columns. That is what if we want to achieve, but if we want to still keep all the records, we have to use this class statement. Now we got the data transposed, master by name. Let us see how the data looks one more time. 7 records. Okay, here I will remove the class one with 7 records, so that you will become 7 records alone. Seven records only. So we got these 7 records, and if I want to have expertise rating, and it is by name. So what I want to do by skill, what I have to do is for each and every skill like art, dance, gymnastic, for these skills, if I wanted to see what is the rating of each student, here what I have in the data is numeric columns are art, music, and dance, singing. All these columns are by default numeric now. So if I want to apply transpose on these columns, okay, say so that these columns will become rows. So art will become a row, music will become a row, like that it will become a row. And at the same time, I can make the name column as row, and I can apply id statement with this name, so that how many rows I will be getting is 7 rows again I will be getting, but art, music, these skills will become rows. Sorry, 5 rows I will be getting. Art, music, dance, singing, and gymnastics. These 5 rows I will be getting, and 7 columns I will be getting. The 7 columns is for the 7 students. That is the way I wanted to transpose. As we are just transposing the numeric data. This particular statement is not required. Where and the skills. Let us run this code and see. Now I got just 5 rows with the skills, and we got the names as column names. So Robert, he has skills in 3 at some expertise level. Like that, each student we got 8 columns. First column being the expertise rating. Why the expertise rating came is I gave the name here. Name is equal to expertise rating. This is the text I used to rename underscore name underscore column, which is the by default created by transpose procedure. Instead of that, I gave expertise rating. So even we can keep this where statement, and we can so we got the same output even by keeping um, where statement with the 5 skills names. Now with this, what we have done is we just added a by option. By name and class, we have sorted the data, and then we applied the transpose. So we got the students um, expertise transposed as rows. Here we have the student expertise in the separate column, but we got the expertise level by each student in the form of columns. So if I want to apply this art music, that is skills as the column, and I wanted to transpose this expertise level by this skill and transpose this data. The same thing I have to do, but instead of sorting it by name, I have to sort it by the particular skill. So that is what we are doing in the next step. So I am sorting the same students data. Instead of doing it by name, I am doing it by skills, and I am applying the transpose again on the expertise, but this time I am assigning name to it, and the by column that I am using is skills. So our rows will be having skills and the columns will be expertise. So let us run this code. Output dataset is master by skill. The same output we got, which we got previously by using transpose twice. Here, this is the second transpose, and we did one more transpose here. So two transpose statements we have done, but here we are achieving it directly by transposing by skills, and expertise is what we have applied the transpose logic, and we got the output. So Robert has skill in art, dance and music, but not in singing and gymnastics. Likewise, other students. Now, what we have seen is we have multiple rows and transport them into a single row. Okay, that is columns into rows. Now we are going to see transposing rows into columns. So Robert already has this populated values populated appropriately 8 9 6 5. This time he has skills, he improved his skills. He has it in art, music, dance and singing, but not in gymnastics. So likewise other students, we have only 6 this time. So I'm creating another data set. Run is not required, but whenever we are giving data lines and starting another procedure, by default it will be taking, but it is suggested. We got 6 columns. Now we don't have any other separate logic for doing this, because proc transpose syntax, it doesn't change. Now what I am seeing here is I'm creating transpose skills level, and skills level is the name of the column that I am giving for the default name that transpose logic creates. Underscore 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 name underscore will be replaced with skills level, and delimiter is not required. Wanted to show, but I am ignoring that. You can explore it later. Prefix and suffix I can show you. Class anyway we have seen, and id label we will give, and what id label does we will see here. So what we are doing is we got the data name, and then appropriately we got the skill set. So what we are going to have is for each and every person the skills will be coming, and we will be getting we will be applying the on these values. So art level, music level, these are the rows that we will be having, and columns will be the 6 persons names. So that is the way output dataset is going to look like. So we have in total 1 2 3 4 5 different skills, so 5 different rows we will be having, and we have 6 students, so 6 columns we should be getting. So we are converting this each row into columns. So we have 5 rows, and we have sorry, so we have 6 rows, so we are going to convert these 6 rows into 6 columns, and we have 5 columns we have, that will be converted to 5 rows, as simple as that. So we have 5 skills, so we got 5 rows, and we got 6 students, so we got 6 columns plus the skill name, so 7 columns we got in total. So that's the simple way, simple proc transpose. And what id label is going to do, okay, we will see, we will be able to see it only if we print with label option. So we will be able to see what are the labels each column is having. Anyway, by default we gave uh, yeah, if you see here, id statement I have associated it with name and class. Okay, so here in the output data, the column name is Robert, also pre-k is appended. So if we want to see label, i'm just uh, I'm just giving name as the label here. So the Robert should be the label of first column. So let us print this data and see how the labels are assigned. Yeah, here only the name is assigned to the column, because we have used label option on this proc print, which we have seen previously in print procedure. So all the labels are only the names, but we don't have the class tagged to the labels. But if we don't give this label option, by default the column names will be displayed. So we have the column names as name as well as class. So here name appended with, concatenated with the class, that is the column name. So that is the actual column name, and label is just the name. So that is the use of id label. That's all. We have covered proc transpose basic for today. Thank you all. Signing off.